I'm just in awe of people who go bike outside. It's not about the distance or it's about the courage they have to get out on their bikes with all of the other drivers on the road. Maybe that's my irrational fear.
Maybe that is your rational fear. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Riding with Jonathan. I am your host, Jonathan Larsen, and today in Bismarck, this is part of my North Dakota tour that I'm on. I am with Jenny Maattala, and she is with Soul57, and so we're gonna have to talk a little bit loud because of all the noise and stuff like that. But Jenny, tell me a little bit about who you are. And what Soul57 is.
So I am a mom and a wife, and up until about 2 years ago, we actually just had our second anniversary at Soul57.
Okay.
I was a stay-at-home mom. I actually lived in Sioux Falls for 5 years before we moved back to North Dakota.
Okay.
But I'm grateful we did move back when we did, because I was only here for a couple of years when my sister got sick. She was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer at age 39.
Okay.
And then she ended up dying when she was 41. And she had 4 young kids. They were 12, 11, 9, and 8 at the time.
Oh, wow.
And my mom also died when I was 6 and my brother was 8. And so I knew what my sister's kids were going to go through, and I started researching resources for them here in Bismarck. And there, in the 30 years between my mom's death and my sister's death, there was no advancements in grief support for kiddos. And so this idea for like AA, but for kids in grief instead of adults and alcohol, and we just get together and eat snacks and talk. But it's different because kids don't necessarily cope that way. And so we definitely have the snacks, but our groups look more like this puppy.
Yeah.
Our groups definitely have that community feel, which is the whole point of the peer support groups. But we do workshops as well that use writing and art and music and dance and equine therapy and gardening, and we just went out to a paintball course, and we went to a break room a couple months ago, and we've done some meditative movement, just really anything that might resonate with these kids and give them some healthy coping skills.
So that's what Soul57 is.
Yes.
It is a place for kids, and what ages would you say?
Well, when we started 2 years ago, we just had our core K through 12 groups in our office. One Thursday it was K through 5. The next Thursday it was 6 through 12. We serve dinner at these groups. They're facilitated by a mental health professional. But over the last couple of years, we've really just been flexible and trying to listen to what our community needs. And so we now have a group called Little Comforts for 3 to 5-year-olds.
Okay.
We have a young adult group for 18 to 24-year-olds. We have a holding space group for infant and pregnancy loss. We do caregiver support on the evenings in our office when those K through 5 and 6 through 12 groups are in there. And we are in 5 schools with 4 more kind of in the dugout waiting to come on. So, yeah, we've kind of exceeded our own expectations in the last couple of years. Didn't really foresee a lot of this growth, but it's been really, we always say we don't love because obviously everybody we serve has lost somebody close to them.
Yes.
But those deaths would happen anyways, and so we are just grateful that there's resources now in North Dakota for it.
That you're here. Okay. So did you start this? Or?
I did, yep.
You did, okay.
Yep. 57 was my sister's lucky number, and so that's just a little nod toward her and remembering why we do what we do. She always had 57 kids in her house, or 57 loads of laundry to do, or She would come across the number 57 at pretty relevant moments in her life, and so it's just her little remembrance for her.
Okay.
Same with our ladybug.
So that was something as well that... All right, so you started this.
Yep.
Did you have a background in this, or was it just one of those things like, we need to do this, I'm going to start it, and then we'll figure out how we're going to logistically and bringing in the right people to help?
Yeah, no background. I have English degree and a communications degree. I worked in publishing in New York for a while.
Okay.
When we started having kids, then we moved to, my husband was living in Sioux Falls doing his internship at the time, and so I moved back there, and that's where we lived for the first few years of our growing family and married life. And I worked at a nonprofit there called the Prairie Family Business Association.
Okay.
And did all of their marketing for them. But when I knew that I wanted to start something like this, I was like, well, I'm not really interested in going back and getting a counseling degree or social work degree. But I do think that there's some validation in all of the writing and editing background that I've already had. So I got my master's in writing and did an emphasis in writing through grief and trauma. So I do all of our writing workshops, and then have our licensed social worker on staff to facilitate the youth groups.
Yeah, because you can handle, I mean, there's so much more to these organizations than just being the counselor. I mean, they need somebody obviously to handle everything else. So your philosophy was, well, if I could do a lot of this other stuff, then I could bring other people in. But basically, we just need to get something started.
Yeah, there was nothing like that in North Dakota. There's been some groups that they have tried to launch and not really had much success. And we just... there's also, church groups or school counselors, but the counselors are reaching out to us now because they're so inundated with everything else going on in the school system. And then not every family goes to church, or maybe they have different cultural backgrounds, and so we're a secular organization. We try and really focus more on arts and recreation to help with those coping skills and tools for the kids, and just try and make it a place for everyone of every background to be able to come and hang out.
And just have a designated place that isn't tied to your school or church, or that you can just be around other people that's like, hey, this is what we do, this is what we specialize in, and we can feel your pain and help you with some of it, Yep.
I had the personal experience, and I had the passion, and I had some skills, some experience working in the nonprofit realm.
Yeah.
And so, but we have, our board of directors, we've got a lawyer and someone from HR and a professor of communications out at the University of Mary, and someone who works for the state, and someone who works at a middle school, and someone who has IT and tech background, and someone who owns a counseling business here in town. So we're really hitting a lot of areas of expertise. And so our board of directors, there's 7 now. We started with 5. 2 more have come on board. And so between them and our social workers and counselors at the office, and then myself, who has to do all the not so fun business side of it, but then I get to do stuff like this too, so that's okay.
Yeah, exactly. But the main thing is you saw a need, and instead of just being frustrated that there wasn't a solution, you became the solution. And look at all these kids you're helping. So how many kids are you helping? What are your numbers, approximately? And is there a time period that they're there? Is this something that's a couple months, a couple years? What is that?
We have open groups. A lot of other programs around the nation, they do it differently. Some do a closed 6 to 8 weeks series with curriculums, and then if you want to come back and do it again, you can. But they do maybe follow a little bit more guidelines. And we keep open groups in our office and in the schools. If somebody's loved one died 10 years ago and they're still processing that and haven't had support, we want them to be able to come and get help. But on the flip side, if someone lost someone a month ago and they don't want to wait for 8 weeks to get the support they need.
Exactly.
And so we want them just to be able to come in. So you just come in and join us. We have an intake form, but between our office groups and workshops and school groups, we've served over 125 kids in the last 2 years. More if you factor in the families, the caregivers that will come in and do the caregiver group. That one's more peer support. I lead those.
Okay.
And then we've also started in the last 6 months. Actually, it'll be a year in November. We're offering, they're called grief-informed presentations or grief literacy presentations for businesses. What we're learning working with all of these kids is, some of them haven't been able to process losses because their parents haven't been able to, because their parents haven't been able to. And
Yeah.
The woman we just met from the Alzheimer's Association, she said I spoke at their Rotary Club, and I did. And the wild thing about that was, after that Rotary Club presentation, I had a 65-year-old woman come to me and she was like, I wish something like this existed 40 years ago, because her best friend's mom died by suicide 40 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And, there wasn't a lot of conversation around death. You get your casserole and you have a funeral and you move on, and you gotta just kind of carry on with life. But, and you do to an extent, but everything around you is impacted when you lose somebody that close. But then when it says something as traumatic as a suicide, and that is really stigmatized, so nobody was talking about that. So now 40 years later, as she has her own kids and grandkids, she's just starting to process this loss. And so these grief-informed presentations, we're trying to re-educate adults. And so if there's a death in their family, or if they've lost someone, or even if it's a coworker, they know how to be a better support system, and they know it's okay to be sad or angry. We do a lot of discussions on emotions and feelings with the kids in our groups, and I think it can be the same thing for adults too.
Well, it's just having somebody there that's been through it, and just a place, a safe place. And I'm coming into the Capitol now because we're here and we might as well.
I was here about 2 hours ago getting my real ID.
Really?
Yeah.
That's you got it now. What's the difference between real ID and your driver's license, or is it your driver's license?
Well, the IDs look different, but it's your driver's license, but they want you to have that to fly now, and I'm flying in a couple of weeks.
Oh.
So I figured I better get that done.
It's always something.
Yeah.
It's always something. So that is good. As of this morning, I had a gentleman call me, so it's kind of interesting. He called me from church that I work with. From his church, he just had somebody pass away yesterday. Mm-hmm. Left behind 2 small kids, and he was struggling with it.
Yep.
And he just called just to talk to me, before he went into work, so he had somebody to reach out to and just be like, hey, this is going on. And I appreciate that. I'm not usually everybody's first choice on doing something like that. Oh, hold on, Carter, I'm going to go around this way. I don't know where I'm going. But so this is a real thing. This is something that people struggle with, no matter who you are, when it is. At some point in your life, you are going to deal with death.
You will.
In one way or another, and it's definitely hard for kids.
Yeah.
And they don't always have. I think they sometimes get overlooked. Mm-hmm. With it, like, how is this really affecting them? Because kids handle things differently than adults do. They're not as open about it, and they think deeply about stuff, but they don't know how to express it yet.
Yeah.
And so what you're saying is you give them a way to do that. And I especially like the equine, because I have a horse background.
Yeah.
And with kids and animals, there's a connection.
Yep.
And it's something that adults won't understand.
Yep.
But we had cows on our land that we were leasing, for instance. Mm-hmm. And my daughter, 1 Amelia, who was 4 at the time, she can go out there and she can pet these cows and she can tame them down, whereas they were more skittish about me. And so kids are different than adults. They have different needs, and they're just more pure and innocent that way. So I think it's great that you are catering to that and seeing a need for it, and not just lumping them together with, like, do you want to talk about it? You know, and they're just like, I don't know what that means. You know.
Well, that's, I know that there's that. You often hear kids are so resilient, and we try and let people know, like, I mean, they are to an extent, but really no more than you and I are. It's just they do a better job at masking it. And so their feelings, and you know, that's why we have that 3 to 5 year old age group as well. It's because they're not gonna, 3-year-old's not gonna walk up and sit on mom's lap and say, I am so sad that my dad is dead. Can you please help me? They're gonna throw tantrums, and they're gonna wanna either disassociate a little bit, or they're gonna start having a lot of other situations where that death and loss, like, their feelings will come out in not so great ways, and it's better to kind of get at it from the ground up, from the root up, and so the younger we can start showing them healthy ways of processing those feelings, the better. And with the animals, you know, that was another really wonderful thing starting this organization. So I said I was a stay-at-home mom before this, and I didn't know a lot of the other nonprofits in our community until we started it, just because, you know, aside from going to kids groups and activities, we didn't have much need for them. And that kind of seems to be the case. People don't know what they don't know until they have a reason to know it.
Absolutely. Then you're glad they exist.
Exactly. And so with our workshops, we've gotten to partner with so many other fantastic nonprofits in the city, and especially as we're just getting up and running, they're so kind to donate their time and resources. And whether it's a dance workshop, we went to Northern Plains Dance, and we did the equine therapy at TR for Heart and Soul, and we've had Arts for All do some art workshops with us, and Arioso Music did a music one with us. So just really getting to know other organizations in town, and then the wonderful thing about that is if that is something that the kids really find helps them with their grief and coping, then they can go sign up for dance classes, or
they can find that outlet that's helping them. They can sample different things to see, like, what is working. Oh, that's great, because I could totally see it. I mean, having, you know, kids of my own and being around kids, you can tell that they just handle things differently. And so sometimes it's easy probably to dismiss it as they're fine, but they're not. I mean, it's going to come back at some point. They still have questions, and they have concerns, and they're scared, and stuff like that. So that's interesting that you have done this, and you're in Bismarck. I mean, what is your service area then? I mean, is it just mainly within this area?
We started in Bismarck. We'll have people come over from Mandan. We're working with Mandan schools right now. We have an MOU with the Bismarck Public School System and Mandan School System, so we can work with the schools individually, but freely go in and out. We also have an MOU now with the Williston, North Dakota, and we have had some conversations and presentations in Wofford City, and so we will start expanding, and basically any city who sees a need, or any community that sees a need, we will absolutely find the resources to work into that community. Like I said, there's nothing else doing, or nobody else doing this in North Dakota, and so that big, hairy, audacious goal would be to have a chapter of Soul57 in all the major cities throughout North Dakota over the next few years. We do our office currently serves Bismarck, Mandan, and surrounding communities. And so we have traveled about 50 miles outside of our area, and that seems to be manageable now. And so as we pick up and keep moving forward, we just have to kind of take it one step at a time. I'm always willing. I want to be the yes man, yes lady, and say things or like, yep, we can make that work. And then the board is like, what? Stop and think about this for a second. But no, it's just I hate saying that it's nice that we're growing, but I'm just glad that we're able to start giving these resources to people.
But the hard part's been done. So like if another place is like, hey, how do we bring this to our community? Mm-hmm. Like they can literally come in and be like, hey, we want to start this, and you can be like, okay, this is what we need to do it. This is where we need to start. And so they're not starting from scratch like you did.
Yeah.
They're not having to do that. You can be like, okay, this is what you need to do. We can help you with this. You can almost come under your umbrella in a sense.
Yep.
And then they just find their counselors and they find the people that, they need to do that. Is that correct, kind of a thing?
Yeah. Yep. And we've done so many like grief specialist trainings, and so we're able to start offering some of that education and training on to other professionals in the field. And we do always want to have a social worker or counselor or therapist leading the youth groups.
Yep.
We want there to always be somebody who's able to flag anything that might seem off and have constant communication with whether it's the schools or the parents, or maybe they see an individual therapist as well, which many youth who come into us do. You meet a separate set of needs by having that peer support versus just like an individual therapy.
Yeah.
And so we could easily do something like that, and we're open to the process. We just want other people to feel as passionate about talking and helping make that change. Death is not a mental health issue, it's just a part of life, but there are so many side effects that then do turn into mental health issues, and we really want to help get ahead of that and destigmatize some of those situations.
And there's like a waiting period for some of these to get in to see a counselor for some of these kids and stuff like that. That you see, and it's just, this is a great option to, like you said, they're open. You don't have to wait for our course to start over. You're not like, well, we're going to start a new class here in 4 weeks, stand by. This is a place where if you have a need, you can just come in right away and see, and get started. Mm-hmm. I mean, and not prolong that to when it gets to really be out of control, or, you got a problem. So.
Yeah. And on the flip side, like if someone's like, I'm feeling really good about things right now and I don't think I need to go in, and then they take a few weeks off, and then that's fine too, no pressure. But grief ebbs and flows, and so if it ever starts kind of peeking its ugly head around the corner, then we're there again. And there's really, we really just try and be flexible and meet the needs of the individuals. Everything we do, I should say, Jonathan, is 100% free as well.
Okay.
I never want to have money be a restriction for people getting the help and support that they need, and so we have dinners during our in-office groups and during our monthly workshops, and for all the school groups we have snacks, and any of the activities we offer, it's free of charge. Either we get sponsors for it, or we raise funds for it, or some very, very generous people in the community will donate their time as well. So.
And that's great, because you never want to be like, well, I want to get them help, but we can't afford that, or we have to choose between, a counselor for them and feeding our children. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like you never want money to be a thing, so it's kind of community funded in a sense, and you do take care of that. And another thing I was going to point out, like even if people are doing better with their grief and they still came, then they could potentially help other people.
Yeah.
You know, they could, since they've been there, you just having one more person there to be like, hey, I've been through this.
Yep.
I know what you're going through. Just for that extra support, you know,
Yes.
it's like, well, you know, you can help us out that way.
Yep. That's one thing we've talked about. I would love to see a big brother, big sister type program at some point, just for, even if they're the exact same age, but maybe somebody's loss happened several years ago and they've had time to work through some things. And even though, like, I mean, you don't ever heal from grief. And so we really try and stay away from the H word, because it's not, we are not there to heal you. You are not a broken person. There's just a lot of things that, that death changes in your life. And so we learn to cope with it. We learn to make it softer around the edges, and maybe one day they can, you know, find a peer who is fresh to the grief process, and then they're able to walk them through it, knowing sometimes just sitting next to somebody, knowing that they've gone through what you're going through. No words need to be spoken, but just knowing that you're not alone in that is the most important thing.
Absolutely. You know, because then they can be like, no, I just went through this, I can relate. It's not like, nothing against counselors or anything like that, but sometimes you just need somebody there, like you said, that can be like, I'm sorry. I've been through this too. My brakes are really squeaky. And then you can just do that on top of having good counselors and people there to help out and to assist. I mean, that's great that you just kind of have that. But now living in Bismarck from New York has got to be, now I know not all New York is New York City. Yeah. Were you in New York City? Of course you were. Yeah. So how has that changed? Like, and then the other thing is, do you guys really eat supper at 8 o'clock?
Oh my gosh.
O'clock?
I'm a Western North Dakota born and bred girl. I did not get to live in New York nearly as long as I wanted to, but I had such a hard time. I'm going to
pull over and do rapid questions here, but go ahead, just keep talking on this.
I'm early to bed, early to rise, and so I was always the first one in the office and eating dinner at like 6 o'clock, and then, but I did fight with my roommate a lot about whether it was called dinner or supper, because
it's supper in my world.
Yeah, but no, New York was fantastic. It was a great experience, and I wouldn't have had many of the career opportunities today had it not been for that. And so but I lived in Park Slope in Brooklyn, and then I worked in the New York Life building in Manhattan, or right in Manhattan. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, you just see in the movies and stuff like that, and then they're getting done at work, and then they're going out for supper. They go, get supper reservations at like 9 or something like that. And I'm just like, well, maybe they don't go to work as early as we do here because of traffic and everything else like that. I didn't know. So
yeah, many don't. Many start the day at like 9 or 10. And that's, it just probably depends on your job. But yeah, that was not me. I liked to be at the office at 8.
You were there and
leave
gone
early. Yep.
All right. So the reason I stopped and we pulled over in this church parking lot is we're going to do rapid questions. Okay. And I call them rapid questions until I get a better name for them. Okay. But some people answer them right away. Some people take their time. There's no wrong answer because they're your answers, and I'm not going to challenge you on if they're real or not. So, are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Is your bed made right now?
Yes.
Okay. Is that because of you?
Yes.
Okay. So, most people is, and some people are like, not a chance. So, what was the best decision you've made about your career?
Going to a publishing institute and just broadening my network and getting just taking chances. If I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have got my job in New York, and I wouldn't have had a lot of other opportunities available to me, and I probably wouldn't feel as qualified to be running a business right now.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, very cool. What is your coffee order?
This is really hard. Do you want? Okay, I'll be really specific about it.
You be as specific as you can, because most of them are like black coffee. So if you can do some cool lingo that I don't understand, that'd be awesome.
It's not cool.
Okay, well.
But it is. So I do either just like in the morning, I like my house coffee just black with my collagen powder in there.
Okay.
But if I was going to go sit down and enjoy myself with coffee and conversation, I will get an oat milk miel and then a decaf Americano. And the oat milk miel gets too sweet for me, so I'll drink it and I'll love those first 5 sips. But then I have to start throwing in the decaf, and I do the decaf so that I'm not just like buzzing the rest
just
of
like
the day.
crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
So you have your own signature concoction, so to speak. So you can enjoy the first part, then you tone it down a little bit so you can stay on the same planet with your people you're conversing with. Do you have a Starbucks name or a name that you leave for your orders?
I just do just Jenny.
Yeah, so you don't have any alter ego, any alias, anything like that. All right. Favorite movie?
Good Will Hunting.
All right. Karaoke song, what would that be?
Either Hook by Blues Traveler, or maybe Take a Chance on Me by ABBA.
Oh, that'd be a fun one.
Yeah.
Favorite CD or album in high school?
No Doubt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Kingdom one.
Yeah, Tragic Kingdom.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I went and saw her. She was one of my first concerts I went to up in Minneapolis, and Weezer opened for her. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It was like back when music and stuff was awesome. Mm-hmm. First job?
I washed dishes at Jenny's Cafe in Watford City, North Dakota.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Now look at you.
I know.
Let's see. Morning person or night owl? I think we already covered this several times.
Morning person for sure.
You like to get up and get going.
Yep.
Favorite type of work bag or purse?
Ooh, I love my new, I think it's like a Kate Spade computer bag.
Okay.
And that's just what I have like all of my crap in. Otherwise, it's basically just like my phone and all of my loose IDs and things that I'm losing. So.
Okay. The flies are coming out. Let's see. Favorite meal?
Chocolate chip cookies.
Yes. Perfect answer. There is the right answers, I guess, it turns out. Most irrational fear?
For me or just in life?
No, for you. Yeah. We can't answer for everybody because everybody is different ones. But for you, what is your most irrational fear that you're just like, why are you afraid of that? That's never going to happen? Or
probably like electrocuting myself when I'm curling my hair by the bathroom sink in the morning.
Yes. Or burning your neck would be another one up there. I know a girl that tried to iron her collar and she hit her neck. Yeah, it was kind of an interesting thing. So take off your shirt if you're going to iron it. But the curling of the hair is, I mean, you think about it, it's hot.
Yeah.
And you got different things and you got water. That's kind of a good one.
I think pretty much every single, at least female who's ever hot styled their hair has not gotten through life without a burn.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be careful where you're grabbing it, what you're doing. You're putting your other hand behind your head. It's a real thing.
It is.
I don't think guys understand if you're not married or you don't have daughters, whatever. You don't understand the work that goes into what they do. I mean,
you would not believe how much effort it takes to just be mediocre. It's like so exhausting.
It is. And we just will roll out of bed and we're like, all right, let's go. And then you guys really put in the effort. We really don't deserve you. What is in your trunk right now?
I have a tote of food that I want to donate to a food box. And then I have a box that has fruit snacks, paper towels, and hand sanitizer, and probably my cycling shoes.
Okay, so hopefully it's canned goods and not like pre-cooked stuff that's in there.
Yes.
Let's see, favorite month?
Probably October.
Yeah.
We're about there.
We're just about there. Another day or so. What is one thing you wish you enjoyed more?
Oh, that's a hard one.
It is. This is a...
I don't know. I feel like the easy answer would be like sports, because then I would have so much more to talk to people about.
Yeah.
Last night I teach a cycle class on Mondays, and there's always football conversation, and I'm like, I got my 5-minute fill of football for the year. I'm good now.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah. Or maybe like hiking.
You wish you liked hiking more.
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. There's no wrong answers. Like,
Okay.
we don't know you.
Right.
I'm not gonna. No, that's not it. Tell us the real
Yep.
thing. You know, it's like, okay. You know, you can be like, I wish I liked sharpening pencils more than I do, but it just seems to be a hassle,
Yeah.
and I don't. You know, we don't know. We're not
No.
judging you. And what shoe do you put on first?
Probably the right shoe.
The right shoe.
Yeah.
All right.
That's so interesting.
You like that one?
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite ones.
What do most people say?
Left. I'm a left shoe first.
Okay.
But a lot of people have never thought about it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people can answer it.
Yeah.
It's one of those questions like you probably have never thought that I'm always putting my right shoe on.
No.
But then when I ask you, you can be like, I think it's my right.
I'm pretty sure it's my right. Yeah. That feels more accurate.
And basically what I'm doing now is I'm skewing everybody, and they're always going to be observing now from now on. And so it's going to be like, oh man, what? I didn't know I did this.
Well, I have 4 kids, and 2 of them are right-handed and 2 of them are left-handed.
Okay.
And so but the lefty is, one of them is for sure, very, can go both ways.
Okay.
What's the word? It's escaping me.
Ambidextrous?
Thank you, ambidextrous. Yeah, he is very ambidextrous, and so, but still more prominently left. And even my oldest was like that for a while, but I think he's more prominently right. And so I feel like that'll be a fun one to watch, to see.
Just to kind of see, and I saw it when I was like, I don't know, I think I was like 15 years old.
Yeah.
And then I just like, I wonder if I can make a point of always doing it.
Yep.
And then I did, and then now, like, even if I start putting on my right, I will switch to the left. Even slippers or anything, it's just got to be. So I put that question in there, and I always say this. But
Are you right-handed or left?
I'm right-handed.
Okay.
And my wife, like, nobody cares about that. Nobody's gonna know, because wives are very supporting in your work, and they just want to be honest with you and stuff like that. And I'm like, I know, but it's funny, and it's a rapid question.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm gonna do it, but most people do know.
Yeah.
It's just interesting subconsciously. I think we know this stuff. So that's good. So yeah. Now I got to figure out how to. I think I got to go up and go to the left.
Do you want me to start telling you where to go?
Yeah, we can do that. But we're gonna be wrapping it up. Is there anything else you want to add that we didn't cover? Yeah, we saw that on the other one. That's like, we think they're gonna turn him into the Easter Bunny and different things. But and you're a cycling coach, so that means you're the Peloton person.
Well,
or like,
yeah,
it's a stationary bike.
Yeah, it's a stationary bike. I've taught that at the YMCA for almost 8 years now, and I was doing silver sneakers, so like 55 plus cardio aerobics. But Soul57 just started kind of taking off too much, and I had to cut back on some things, and so I love doing that, even though, like, I don't know, it's one of those things your body changes over the years, but cranking some music and
is it? I think it's it.
Yeah, it's that way.
It's that way.
Yeah.
I'm going the wrong. I'm like, this is a dead end.
We'll get there, Bismarck.
Do you ever get adventurous and then get on a real bike?
No, never.
So you don't. That doesn't do anything for you, but you like the stationary, and you listen to. Do you do it to music? Are you talking the whole time? I mean, that's a big thing to get up.
Yeah, so I'll have a playlist. Last night I played my playlist, my cycle playlist 128.
Okay.
So lots of playlists have been created over the years. Kind of a little bit of everything. My Monday Night Crew, I've been doing this one really consistently for about 5 years, and so I know their music tastes really well, and I actually think a lot of them are regulars because of our music tastes.
Okay.
And so yeah, we just jam out to music, and then I might tell some funny stories to distract them for a little bit, but then we have like a big screen that has scenery. Yeah.
So like you're outside,
Yeah.
but you don't have to go outside.
Yeah, I have so much, I'm just in awe of people who go bike outside. It's not about the distance or it's about the courage they have to get out on their bikes with all of the other drivers on the road. Maybe that's my irrational fear.
Maybe that is your rational fear. I ride, but I do mostly the bike trail, but I live in the country now, so I got into gravel biking. So mine is tractors and stuff like that, and I haven't done much. And then I did the Mickelson Trail, that people know, that's a 110-mile ride.
Yep.
And I do that, which my stickers up there say, yay, you did it.
Yay.
But I haven't got into the stationary in a setting like yours.
Yeah.
And the reason is, I think I would be lazy. Like, I can ride 110 miles in a day. You know, because I'm going at my pace and I'm doing it and I just push through.
Yeah.
But with you, and the type of you're doing, you guys are really just pushing people.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we're doing this, and then you're like sprinting and you're doing it. You can't just be like, oh, look, a butterfly, and you just pedal. So you're doing this for your health. You're doing this for...
Well, it's aerobic. It's 45 to 55 minutes, and so it's, I always tell people, if this is your first cycle class, or if it's your first time working out after a long time, or if you're a weightlifter and don't do a lot of aerobics, humble yourself, because it's not the same set of rules as a regular workout, and you are going, you've got a lot of that intensity for maybe shorter bursts versus if you did the long ride. So the last night we did an endurance ride, and so I think it was ended up being like a 13-mile ride at a pretty steady pace for 45 minutes. Yeah,
I am not knocking it at all. I think I would get my butt kicked on something like that. So maybe I should try it.
You should try it. It would be fun.
And just kind of, do my own thing, but I just need to get on my regular bike and just keep moving too, and just kind of keep fit. So, all right, well, Jenny, thank you so much. It has been great having you as a guest and learning about Soul57 and how you stepped out of your comfort zone to fill a need, and that is awesome. So, we'll see you guys on the next one.